Super chat coming in from King J, just $1. Thank you, King J. Appreciate it. If we see a question from you, we'll get that up on screen for you as well. But either way, thank you for the super chat. Nathan Archibald, why waste a draft pick on a running back? There will be plenty of good undrafted ones. I mean, why not both? Like, I don't think it's a wasted pick for a running back, and I am very much on the don't ever spend an early round pick on a running back. You can find other ones elsewhere, but yeah, there are recent examples like Gus Edwards and Phillip Lindsay, but I think in general, you start to get to round 5, round 6, round 7, the hit rate's about the same, in all honesty. So spending a mid to late round pick on a back, I'm fine. From H. Lever, hopefully I got that right, what do you think about Donovan Olumba? I think he is a current Chris Richard project. Big, lanky corner that needs some development. So I like him as a practice squad guy this year. He's still eligible. I don't know if he's going to make an impact right away for the Cowboys, but he is a guy to monitor long term. Robert Coleman, I think he means trade tank, ignore the pay part there. What would you want for him? I mean, my asking price starts at a first round pick. And I think at absolute bare minimum, you should be able to get a second round pick. The Chiefs got one for D Ford. Yeah, it's 2020, but Tank's better than D Ford. So even with the shoulder surgery, because D Ford's got all kinds of injury problems in his past. So I am starting the bidding at a first round pick. If I don't get that, well, then I got a big problem on my hands, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. Paul Cherry, do you make Dak the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? No. And I don't think you're going to need to. I don't think you're going to have to pay Dak Prescott $33.5 million. You can probably pay him $30 and it'll be a done deal there. I don't think that Dak's going to demand Aaron Rodgers money. And if he does, okay, well then I'll do the DeMarcus Lawrence don't pay the guy stuff. All right? Tim Gardner. So the Cowboys are looking for a replacement for Tyron Smith. I mean, if you want to spend a mid to late round pick on a developmental guy, I'm not going to say no. Because beyond Cam Fleming, you don't have much depth. You're pretty thin there. Connor Williams can play left tackle. That's a decent idea. But you don't need to spend a second or third round pick. Maybe a third if you love somebody. But Tyron's still pretty young. And I know there are injury concerns, but he's still really good. So from that perspective, I don't think you have to do anything right now there for the Cowboys. Or in terms of an offensive tackle. Jeffrey Johnson, what's going on with the Robert Quinn trade? Kind of in a holding pattern right now is where we're at. The Saints have some interest. I kind of think what's going on here is that the Cowboys realized they were the only ones involved. The Saints really weren't for a while. They hadn't talked to Miami in a week. And they signed Jared Cook, so money's kind of tight there. So I think what's going on here is the Cowboys kind of figured out that we're the only team bidding for Robert Quinn. Let's pump the brakes here a little bit and reset. So from that perspective, I lean towards something getting done, but you got till April, till the draft. I'm not going to panic quite yet. Nathan Archibald, let's get Corey Ballantyne in a later round. I like that idea. Kid out of Washburn, a little undersized, he's only 5'11", but the arms might not fit the full-on requirements for Chris Richard. I'll have to double-check the actual numbers there for him, but overall, I'm intrigued by that idea. I think it's a nice late-round target who could maybe even, worst case, he could be your nickel down the road. And you're going to need one if you lose Anthony Brown and or Jordan Lewis over the next couple years. So I like that idea. Corey Ballantyne as a late-round pick for what it's worth. In the stuff I've done, he hasn't actually been on the board. Matt S. says, thoughts on drafting a kicker in the 7th round? He throws out the Georgia kicker. First off, pretty sure Rodrigo Blankenship isn't in this year's draft class. Pretty sure he's got one more year at Georgia. I mean, there is no such thing as a bad 7th round pick. It doesn't exist. It's just a super priority undrafted free agent. But I would kind of prefer to just not draft somebody. Maybe the LSU kid, but he doesn't have the same leg that you want out of a kicker. But in the end, I mean, it's a kicker. Dan Bailey was an undrafted free agent. That's where you find your kickers as far as I'm concerned. From Adam, what about giving Trey Williams a shot from the San Antonio Commanders? Could be a better version of Dunbar. Never had a chance to make the team. Well, he was on the team, as you point out, Adam. Just want to make that clear for everybody watching. I don't know if bring him in, sure. And I thought he could have a breakout year. If you've watched the show for a long time, I kind of thought he could be a sneaky roster make at a training camp. I just don't know if he's really going to be the guy there for the Cowboys. And I think a better version of Lance Dunbar, who was really good, might be a little bit of too high of expectations there for the Dallas Cowboys as it all sits there. All right, from David Couch, will Dak throw for 30-plus touchdowns this year? I mean, it'll probably be around his range. I don't know if it's actually going to come in at 30, but I don't think it's that outlandish. Just depends on really how they use things in the red zone. Do they let Dak throw the ball more in the red zone, or do they just give it to Zeke every time? If it's just, run the ball, then he's not going to hit it. But beyond that, we'll see. Cowboys Nation, why did Reggie Davis not play in 2018? Well, I'm going to be nice here because I know you hate me for my Allen Hurns comments. Not that good. That's the answer there. He bounced around the practice squad. That's kind of your indication there of his talent. I'm glad he's in camp. Maybe he gets a better shot this year, but I'd be surprised if he made the team in the end there. Steven Fields, can we still get C.J. Anderson? Yes, but I think with many of the top free agent backs in general, it's why would I come be the backup to Zeke? I'm going to get the ball like 2 times a game. That's not going to help my long-term career. I'm going to go elsewhere. I think that's kind of the mindset there for CJA. Mario, could we move Awuzie to safety, Brown to the outside, and keep Lewis in the slot? Keep Jones where he is. I don't want Anthony Brown on the outside. I want him in the slot. That's also where I want Jordan Lewis. If you move Awuzie to safety, what that tells me is that you spent an early pick on an outside corner. And if you do that, I'm okay with it. But until that happens, I think you focus on Awuzie at safety. Producer Brett, by the way, has something queued up. I have not seen what this is. All right, Brett, do it. Punch it for me here. Is Rome... He threw in the lull. So, no, he's not going to come back there. David, will DeMarcus Ware replace DeMarcus Lawrence? I doubt it. D-Ware's kind of thrown out the Twitter comments like, ooh, maybe I could come back. I've been working out. I'd be a little bit surprised. In fact, I'd be kind of stunned if DeMarcus Ware came back. And if he comes back, it's as a 15, 20 snap a game max guy. Dude's old. He's been out of the game for a while. Fernando Gonzalez, how much do we have to give up to get a Greedy or a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson? I don't have a great feel for exactly where they go. So I think it'll be in that, at best case, 20 to 25 range. I don't see Greedy getting past the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't see Gardner-Johnson getting past the Philadelphia Eagles. So you're going to move to number 23? That's a lot to give up if you're the Dallas Cowboys. Nick Blue, whole thing is about guaranteed money. D-Law probably wants at least $70 million guaranteed. In terms of practical guarantees, yeah, he probably does. For a 6-year deal, that's about in line with what either of those deals will be. I actually don't think that the $70 million guaranteed, if that's the number, is all that bad. Because I had it at $64.5 over 5 years. And again, that's practical guaranteed, so I'm basically including year 2 because the way any deal was going to be structured for a 5-year deal, you can't get out at that type of money after year 1. So add on an extra year for an extra, let's just say $6 or $7 million. That's not that bad. I think that makes a lot of sense there. Jordan Thomas, why are the Cowboys neglecting running back? Who will they pursue behind Zeke? What about trading for Matt Breida? I think they've neglected running back because in terms of positions, what top free agent back wants to come to Dallas? It takes 2 to sign a contract. If you're C.J. Anderson, if you're T.J. Yeldon, why do you want a lesser role? It's not really an ideal fit for either party. In terms of draft, you can find someone in round 4 and have him be a nice player for you. In terms of trading for Matt Breida, I don't know if the Niners would do it, but I'm certainly intrigued. I think that could be a great fit for Zeke, depending on the actual cost of a draft pick. Jeremy Wright, do you move into the first round if Hawkinson or Noah Fant is there in the 20s? Again, I don't think you see Dallas move into round 1. It's a lot to move up for. I think moving into the low 40s, high 30s makes more sense. But I mean, I'd be pretty tempted. I mean, Hawkinson is a top 10 guy for me this year. If he's on the board at just picking around number 24, I'd be pretty tempted to do it. I'm not going to lie. It'd be a lot, but I'm tempted to do it. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.